Young girl with her life ahead of her goes on a girls' weekend with some friends, and she never makes it back home alive.
Okay. Quilla, can you at least fight back?
No. Why she not fighting?
At least something. At least fight back, something.
Get up, bro. Get up.
And that light is so important because people hide out in dark places. And we fight for justice when we go up against the system, but we must fight for justice no matter what it looks like, no matter who's on the other side of it. Every single person in our society, and particularly our black women, deserve justice.
As I speak, it's February the 9th, and it's been 3 months, and still there's no justice. It's just been really crazy, and it's like, wow, what is happening? What's going on? Today we're gonna go through all of that, and as well as that, what you guys can actually do right now. First thing that you can do is like this video and leave a comment. This pushes the video in the algorithm. It will show up more on YouTube. People will see it, click it, they will want to know more. So my previous video where I spoke about Shanquella, I spoke how her mother ended up making this post on Facebook. It said Donovan, Nazir Wiggins, Alyssa Hyatt, Malik Dyer, Khalil Cook, Dejanay Jackson, FBI's on the way. Y'all help cover up murder. So I think she's just figuratively speaking, or just hopefully speaking. No one has been arrested yet. No one has been taken to Mexico. There's been really nothing. Just an open case, which we'll get into that because we've got information from a reporter who spoke on that. Now, Nancy Grace has recently uploaded a video talking to Brent, and we know who Brent is from my previous video as well. Now, Ev Brennett, he's on there. He's a Senior Inspector, U.S. Marshals Service, International Investigations Branch, Chef Inspector, DOG Officer of International Affairs, Country Attached, U.S. Ambassador Kingston, Jamaica author. So this guy definitely knows what he's talking about. She asked him a question, why they haven't been extradited, arrested to Mexico, and he basically speculates from his years of experience why, and this is what he said.
Charged under the treaty. What Mexico has to do is re-indict that charge and charge them with something that can be extradited under the treaty, like, let's say, murder. Now,
so as you guys know, with Mexico, it is femicide. America does not have that. They do not have that as a thing. So you can imagine Mexico is going to give their little package deal, whatever they need, all the receipts, evidence, and who they need to be extradited, right? From what I'm gathering from what he's saying, they can't arrest anyone under femicide, which is crazy to me, because aren't they getting arrested in Mexico? So wouldn't you just accept that? But because they have to arrest them, then extradite them, they have to have something that is in their law, because America does not have a law recognizing as femicide. So that's really interesting, and I can imagine that's going to take extra time. And what does that mean for Mexico? What do they have to do? What do they have to change to be like, okay, we're going to accept it for murder? And like, how long is that going to take?
But in the paperwork application, Mexico needs to charge it not as femicide, but as murder, straight out murder, so we can get, I guarantee you it's Mexico. I do not believe that authorities here would let this go unavenged.
Now, apparently Mexico hasn't issued a red notice, but I believe they have, but roll the clip.
and they have issued a warrant. They haven't issued a red notice. They have issued the warrant.
What's a red notice?
So basically,
tell me, what is a red notice?
It's an international lookout.
Apparently it's an international lookout. So let's say in Mexico, I logged someone off in Mexico, I went to another country. Because it was a Mexican citizen that I logged off, they're gonna send a red light so they can arrest me, etc.
Could bring them over. But since they're Americans, they just, I mean, there's no pressure. There's no public outrage. It's
You
not
mean no
high
public
on their
outrage in
priority.
Mexico?
Correct.
So
Correct.
they don't care.
So-
the only one that cares
well, I'm
basically
not
is
saying they
Shanquella's
don't care.
family. Yes, you are.
It's just not a high priority.
I definitely feel that, like a lot of my friends in Mexico have not heard about this. There are people in Cabo who have not heard about this. So it is quite interesting that a lot of people in Cabo don't really realize this is going on. And as an expat, I think a lot of people should be concerned about that, because what if that happens to them? Now again, if they have temporary resident visa or whatever in Mexico, maybe it will work faster, but it's worrisome. It's showing America, right? This whole situation is showing America that you can hate someone, bring them to Mexico on holiday, log them off, and you get away with it. It'll take a long time. By the time you get a charge, you can escape the country by then. And really, if you think about it, what is to stop Dejanay, Malik, Nazir, all of them from escaping the US? If they really wanted to, they could.
But the issue, you believe, is the extradition papers from Mexico?
Yes, I'm willing to bet on it, because I would go and have meetings and explain to them the importance, how important it was to the United States. And I basically make a deal. If you submit the paperwork, we'll pay all the costs. We'll pay all the costs of the extraditions to come down. Many times when they'd agree, they'd look at me and say, you owe me now.
The U.S. State Department number, if you want your voice to be heard, is 888-407-4747.
Now, WBTV actually contacted the FBI recently, and this is what they had to say.
So the FBI, they have their own independent investigation from the Mexican authorities, and I did talk with the FBI for this story, and they told me that their investigation is still ongoing, and they also acknowledged for the first time that they're working with the Department of Justice, so that's big. And the FBI spokesperson, Shelley Lynch, she also told me that, they understand that this is difficult for not only Shanquella's family, but the community. And then on top of that, you have all these American agencies involved. I also talked to the State Department, but they directed me to Mexico and Mexican authorities on an update on that. But as far as the FBI, that investigation is still ongoing.
So the FBI is in communication with the Mexican authorities. So if there is still ongoing here, that means they are gathering information for Mexico. And the problem is, I feel like Mexico is also very slow. They already had a system that failed Shanquella when the paramedics, the doctor, and the police arrived at the villa with her body there, busted in the face. So now we have to rely on a kind of failed system to do their diligence, get everything, to submit this document to their courts or whatever, so they can obtain them, arrest them, etc., and extradite them. Like, they didn't even have the photos that Zoo Nigga got from the police officers or whoever was taking pictures in the villa. I know some of you guys are saying it's fake, and maybe I'll make another detailed video, because a lot of you guys are saying, well, how did her stomach get big? There's a lot more to that, but they didn't even have access to those photos, and it's like, you didn't talk to the people that were there. From my understanding, they talked to the paramedics, but did you speak to the police that were there, that were talking, the first responders, police, whatever, who were talking to the Cabo 6? Did you talk to them? Did you ask them if they had any footage? I think it's still going on. They just need more pressure. Now, the last thing you guys can do is sign a petition online. I think it's on change.org. I'll put the link in the description below. There's no harm with signing that petition. But yeah, if you guys have any ideas or anything that can be done, let me know in the comment section below. If you haven't seen the breakdown, you can go see it here. There's actually 2 videos. Let me know if you guys want me to put those 2 videos together and add new updates to it, so you can have like a big video explaining everything, including the updates that we have, just to put it out there, keep this case alive and the pressure on. There's someone that's trying to take my videos down, so I don't know how I'm gonna re-upload that particular one when this person's, he tried to take the video down before, but YouTube rejected it. But if I try to upload it again with the new, like, he might try again. So I don't know, I'm gonna have to, that's really annoying. I feel like I've got a parasite sucking me.